everyone, welcome to the episode 71 of SoLeadSaturday. The guest we have today, Katherine. For the past 20 years, she has been working worldwide and helping people who are ready to step out of the anxious, fear-based and limited survival mode to find out what else is possible in life, live their full potential and remember what they are here for. She is currently working on her upcoming book, The Soul of On Fire, an inspirational pragmatic guide for life transformation from feeling lost and overwhelmed to waking up each morning excited to be alive and living a truly orgiastic life. Wow, this is going to be a fun, life-filled episode, and I'm really looking forward to it. So let's just welcome her and hear more about her passion and how is she managing to lead many lives out there. So let's just welcome her and hear more. Hey, hi, Katherine. Happy to have you on the show. Really appreciate all your time and consideration being on the show.
Hi, Vaishali.
Yep.
I'm really grateful for this opportunity, for this possibility, and great to be here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm also really looking forward to somebody who is kind of a life coach on the show. So looking forward to this particular episode. So the first section that we have is about passion and interest. And the question we have is, how did you find your interest in this particular field and what motivates you to be in this field every day?
Yeah. So first of all, I come from my own experience. I came from overwhelmed, not being at all connected with myself, really crying a lot, having a little baby, crying. This little baby was crying, being in a marriage with a lot of aggressiveness and totally lost. So that's where I come from. And with that, choosing to really want to live, because I was at the path where I would more going away actually, or like more going out of my life, and seeing that I really needed to change something from this miserable, what I was choosing actually, and then I started to ask questions. So I started to ask questions, and with these questions, new possibilities came up and show up. And I took step by step. I came out, started to, work with myself, and suddenly all my capacities and all my capacities showed up. And then I found out that actually, I have lots of different. I'm a seer, I can see, I have lots of amazing capacities, which I'm now working with. And it was not me really choosing it. It was more like the universe was choosing me. It was really the universe who brought me people who wanted to work with me, who invite me to work with their clients. And then I was always afraid a bit of that. And in getting to know and having, it was a constant changing and constant grow. And now I'm here since 20 years. I'm working now, like I had worked with doctors and with women who were like kind of in more like very sick with cancer and all that. And now I'm actually more working with, I would say, I'm more here for the people who work with other people. So my client changed through my growth too. And what is me motivating? It's my heart. It's my heart loving people and really wanting to be a contribution to people who wants to contribute also to the world.
Yeah, that's great actually. And that's a really very motivational thought to have. Like as you said that you are getting into a like-minded people zone, and that is definitely kind of a motivation to be in that particular space. So thank you so much for sharing. And moving towards our next section is questions from the audience, where we have 2 questions under that segment. first question is, what do you mean by transparent communication? And how can we have it in society, culture, or work environment? How can we achieve it? Yeah.
Yes. So also through my experience with a marriage, and also seeing how we if this is a romantic relationship or a marriage relationship or kids relationship or in the working or business space, very often we come and have a kind of passive aggression in the communication. And where we start our communication more in a way of it's about the others. And the transparent communication, it's about where I come from a vulnerable place in me and come from what works for me, what is fine for me, and what needs some change. So it's not like about telling others off, but it's like allowing them to choose what they want to choose, and more coming from my perspective, from my and telling them also from where I come. So that's for me a more transparent communication, because it's easier than for the other to choose to hear me, to listen to me, and it's less defending, and it's less power games in that.
Yeah, that's great actually. And
Yeah.
and that is definitely a good communication. Yeah.
Yes, and I have that through the whole year. I have every 2 months a communication workshop class online.
Wow.
So that's great.
Yep. So do you conduct that communication workshop?
Excuse me, the first word?
You conduct that communication workshop? Like,
yeah, you can just sign up and be in this communication workshop, and it's it's a whole day. And it's online, it's easy, and it's also can be easily translated in English. It's in German, but yeah, that's easily translated. And it's it's not so much about just communicating with other people. It's also communicating with your bank account, communicating with your business. It's getting in touch and engaging also from an energetical perspective.
That's great actually. Whenever the episode is out, feel free to share the link as well, so that whoever is interested can join that kind of a coaching where they can have that transparent, effective communication. So thank you so much for sharing. Next question we have is, how our thoughts, feelings, and emotions affect what we create in our life, and how one can be free of that?
Great. So what I see now, and where I came from, and in my journey, because I speak mostly of my experience and what I learned out of that. So it's what I see is that what my perspective is that every single thoughts, emotions, feelings would we make significant, like real, like it's really like that. We very often go like, we love dramas, we love going into stories, we love speaking about some stories about our life, and then with all that we make it so much real. And with all that, you create even more of this story, more of this, what you actually very often don't want. So if I go with a very simple, I go like, I don't want that anymore in my life. Well, with this kind of energy and also thought, feeling, emotion, because there is emotional stuff also going on, I will create more of what I don't want in my life.
Yep.
Okay, so that's just like starting to ride a bike. When you were a little kid, you didn't know how to do that, but now it's just like the same with your thoughts, feelings, emotion. It just get more awareness of that, what you are talking, what you are speaking out, what you are thinking, and how you're feeling about that. And then most of the time we're on what we not want, but to focus what actually the not want is telling me, something what I want actually to really go over that, and that's just a practice.
Yeah, that's great actually. And definitely, the way I'm understanding, are you more talking about having that positive attitude and the positive thinking, right, towards life?
Not so much, because when you live in this duality, you
Uh-huh.
have positive and negative. But if you go with a positive, your platform is, I want to be positive, so I have positive. But the platform and the duality makes that you always have to have both.
Mhm.
I'm talking more from, I have a sentence where I always say, consciousness is everything and doesn't judge anything.
Oh, that's great one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So from that platform where I'm allowing to receive everything and don't need to, not wanting to have negativity, because this also gives more charge and energy to the negativity, but being open to receive everything without needing to judge it if it's good or negative
Mhm.
gives you more freedom and more space to create bigger and greater.
Oh, wow. That's great one actually. So it's moreover about having that balance between the both the kinds of energies. Learn to
Yes,
balance.
yes, yes. It's actually a kind of invitation from me to go beyond
Mhm.
the good and bad.
Wow. That's great. And thank you so much for sharing. And I would definitely encourage people to join your webinars or the coaching as well on the
Great.
communication and the life energies.
Yes,
Moving towards our next segment is about fun segment where I'm
yes.
going to give you 3 keywords associated with your profile actually. And
Mhm.
you have to just come up with a replacement keyword or short definition kind of. So are you ready for that?
Yeah.
So the first word we have is a communication.
Communication.
What comes?
So
Yeah.
what comes up is freedom, communicating more, um, communicate what's going on in your universe, show yourself, show up, um, have a kind of vulnerability in your communication, and when you communicate, have your barriers down.
Yeah, that's a great one actually, having that freedom. So yeah, giving yourself a freedom is important in that part. So thank you so much. Next word we have is education.
Yeah. Education. You don't need any education. You have everything already in you. You just require to get in touch with what you bring already down to earth.
Wow. And then the third word we have is mindset.
Mindset.
Mhm.
Stop having a mindset. Come from your heart and follow your heart.
Wow. That's a very unique one. And thank you so much for sharing that. Uh,
Great.
Towards our next section is about exploring your career, work, and volunteering. So there is one idea that someone else knows better than about how you can create your own life or the business. So you often speak on the current concept of education, which is in the fact of disempowering and bringing youth further away from that what they know and their wisdom. So
Yes.
would you like to elaborate more on that part actually?
Great. So what I was saying at the last thing is like, come from your heart. And also we always have everything already in us, what we need for our life.
Uh-huh.
And we have also a unique wisdom, which nobody has. You can't find it outside. And, we are programmed to go into school to learn stuff. But when you look what you learn in school and what you really need in life is not actually the same. It's not congruent.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And what I see, because I have also been a kindergarten teacher in my early days, I have seen, and also me going to school, that actually it's very much disempowering, because in the whole school time, which is quite long, we get taught how to think, but
Mm-hmm.
we don't get taught how to connect with our wisdom, which we bring already here. We are not being seen as a master.
Mm-hmm.
And in my classes and in my course, I'm always empowering the youth also, because I'm a youth ambassador too. To empower them to know. And
Wow.
just the only one question, the only question what you could ask, even the reality of all the others, they are doing it like that. And you ask yourself, so what do I know about that? Inside, not here, but inside.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the way human work is always, we think that some other person is superior than me, kind of, right? So
Yeah.
that makes definitely sense the way you are talking about.
Yeah.
Hope that would be helpful to the youth out there to get out of that zone and try their best from their side. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing that. And you have given a lot of tips and advice actually as of now, whether it is front of the communication or the education. But just to sum up in this particular section of tips and advice, I would like to ask you the question: any tips or advice would you like to give to the students or the professionals who are looking to get into this particular field, like, the way you are leading, being a life coach, and looking this field as their long-term career option?
Yeah. That's great, because we need more of that.
Uh-huh.
I haven't learned to be that. It was really the universe pushing me to just start and start to acknowledge what's happening. And going, it was a very practical learning, actually. It was not going into a seminar and learning something. So that's why I'm very strong on, you have everything in you. What I always see, because at the moment my clients are changing, so I get more and more younger clients too, which wants to be a contribution. They want to be a life coach. They want to be healers. They want to heal and help the world too. And what I see is that sometimes in our path to get there, it's also required that we clean also our stuff, like all the limitations.
Wow.
Does it make sense for you?
Yeah.
In changing your limitations and all your program, what can work and what not, what is healing, what is not healing, what is a good life coach and what not, because all that is actually limiting yourself, where you can just be you. And with that, that's your biggest gift. Just being you and authentic is already your biggest gift to be.
Wow, that was a really
Not so much doing, it's more being.
Yep. That definitely makes sense. And thank you so much for sharing. It was like very wise one actually. So thank you so much. And we are moving towards the closure of the show. And last segment that we have is about leadership. So before that, actually, I'm going to mention something here, that your first book is coming out on The Soul on Fire, and it is getting published later this year in Canada.
Yes.
You have dedicated one chapter to leadership and your vision of new leadership. So I wanted to ask a couple of questions around leadership in one segment. One is that, you are leading your area of interest. So what is your leadership style? What is this future leadership means to you? And what do you see as a future leader? And any specific leader that you always follow or admire, and why?
Okay. So what I learned is that there is nobody outside who can have your wisdom and your knowing and uniqueness. So being connected with all that, and also with a higher perspective in you, and for sure with your heart, and not coming from your program mind. If you follow your heart, then you are leading yourself. And by leading yourself is also leading others, but without leading them. It's more like you walk your talk, and you lead yourself, and with that you are an inspiration for the others.
Yep. That one is great. And any specific leader that you follow or admire, and why?
I don't really have one. I have like kind of my universe, my universe is very rich. I also have like communication with dolphins, where I get a lot of wisdom, communication with higher realms also. And so whenever the universe wants that I know something, it's coming my way. And it's always just about choices. So don't decide anymore, but choose every 10 seconds. So because in choosing, if something is not working, you can still change something. But if you decide something, then it's a kind of fixed energy.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, and changing a fixed energy is not so easy than when you choose now. Now I'm choosing that. And then I'm seeing with that, I get an awareness and I see, okay, that's not really what I want. That's not really what I would like to live. And so then I just ask another question and I go like, okay, what do I need to know to choose something greater?
Uh-huh. Yeah, this one is really very unique actually. I never heard that kind of the way you are saying is that everyone is a leader, that is for sure. And that I have heard from a couple of my guests as well. But the way you are saying that making decisions is kind of a fixed thing and always give the chances to choose something.
Yes.
So that is really a great one, and really happy to have you on the show. Really appreciate all your time and consideration, and it was really very insightful chat with you. You being a life coach, and that shows. And really, best wishes for all your endeavors for the future.
Thank you.
That is all about Katherine. Hope you will enjoy this episode. Before we end this episode, we are going to have a closure quote from Albert Einstein, which says, education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. Wow, that is really a great one and thoughtful one. On that quote, we are closing today's episode. See you guys in the next episode. Until we meet, happy leading. Let's lead together. Stay safe. Bye for now.